Kamara Drive-In. It's the coach. This is Madden Football on EA Sports. Coming up, 2017 Offensive Rookie of the Year, Alvin Kamara. Fresh off a big performance a week ago, as it'll be the New Orleans Saints taking on the Carolina Panthers. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL takes us to the Carolinas and Bank of America Stadium here in Uptown Charlotte. Just a few moments ago, this building was shaking as the Carolina Panthers emerged from the tunnel here in Charlotte. They are ready to go as the Panthers are set to match up with Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Panther ball club as they enter play here. They come in just in an absolute free fall, losers of 7 in a row.
And this is where you turn to your best players and look at them and say, can you guide us out of this? We've got to be better than what we've shown.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Saints, they're in a real groove of late. Winners of 5 of their last 6 games.
And going back through the tape, I thought they looked pretty good last week. It was a solid win, a comprehensive win.
Here we go. The final week of the NFL season. Week 17 is underway. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Kyle Allen leading out the Carolina Panthers for their first drive here. Charles, this is a guy in Allen that took over for the starting role back in Week 3 after Cam Newton was lost for the year. First 4 starts looked great, looked untouchable. I guess 5 if you go back to his lone start the previous year. But after that, the league kind of caught up to him, didn't it?
I think that happened, and in some ways he caught up to himself. Way too many turnovers, whether it was fumbles or throwing interceptions, and that bogged down their offense, even with Christian McCaffrey back there. So I think that Carolina will head towards the offseason with the idea they've got to figure out what they're going to do at quarterback, whether they're going to go back to Cam Newton and commit to him, or maybe think about the draft or free agency.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
Strip that ball.
A first carry for Christian McCaffrey, who made his first Pro Bowl last year. And again, he's going to be stopped up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10. So now an early 3rd and 10 here on their opening drive.
Let's go. Pick it up, D.
From the gun, it's Allen. And that's complete to McCaffrey. 4th down now after a loss of 2.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
Yeah, that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
There's Drew Brees as he comes out onto the field, the 40-year-old quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. He'll turn 41 in January, by the way. He already is the NFL's all-time passing yards leader. He could be the all-time NFL passing touchdowns leader at the end of this season, but he's got some competition. It's been Peyton Manning's record since 2015, but right now it's Brees and Tom Brady dueling to see who will have the top mark as we exit the 2019 season. Fun to watch down the stretch. Mario Addison in on the stop. And a look now at the offense for New Orleans.
The steal in the 2017 NFL Draft had to be running back Alvin Kamara out of Tennessee, who ended up being that year's NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. Split time with Mark Ingram his first 2 years in the league. With Mark Ingram now in Baltimore, it's his show. And through his first 2 years, almost equal yardage, rushing and receiving. Expect his rushing numbers to take a big leap in 2019.
Here's Kamara trying to run for it. And he gets it down to the 48, enough for the first. Got what they needed there. The drive continues with a 9-yard pickup. So after the run by Kamara, now another 1st and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. Give them 18 there, and the Saints have a 1st down.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it'll be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
10 yards, good for his Saints, 1st down. They run with a former Viking and Raider. It's Latavius Murray. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. Back-to-back nice plays. 12 yards that time and a 1st down.
5-9. 5-9. Let's make these babies cry all the way back.
Now they'll throw with Breeze. Blitz coming, and down he goes. That's Luke Kuechly with a sack.
On any 1st and goal, the real estate to work with for the offense is really cut down, and the defense knows it. So they often bring heat and pressure, which they did on this play. Got him down for a loss. Not a big one, but any loss of yardage in this position is tough for an offense.
They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
I can't believe they let you play. I can't believe they... You killed. Check it back. Check it back.
Breeze now on 3rd and goal. And he's got it. Touchdown, Saints. Taysom Hill with touchdown number 7 on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Lutz good on the extra point. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
Panthers coming back onto the field. We discussed Kyle Allen earlier and the loss of Cam Newton beginning of the season. They lost their first 2 games with Cam, then won 5 of 6 under Kyle Allen until the late season swoon that ultimately cost head coach Ron Rivera his job, Charles.
And we have to remember that when Cam lost those first 2 games, he was actually playing hurt and just tried his best to go. And I think we ought to applaud him for trying to get out there with his team. But that team now will retool. There will be a new head coach in Carolina for the 2020 season. They have to make some decisions about whether Cam's going to be the quarterback or not. And also on the defensive side of the ball, they'll need to fill in a few different players. But if they do so, they'll be a factor again in the NFC South.
After 7-0 on EA Sports.
60 Pittsburgh.
They had the catch on 2nd down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at 3rd down here. Allen looking for the tight end, Olsen, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Demario Davis. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Short throw, pick 6 right there. Those linebackers, they love when those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take it in the opposite direction.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Carolina offense making their way out. We take a look at the playoff picture in the NFC. And it's all come down to this, hasn't it? Final week of the regular season. As this year's playoffs play out anything like the regular season has gone, could be in for a wild and fun month of January.
And we can break the rules because we can look ahead. All right, there's not a coach out there that's ever said to their team, all right, let's look three weeks down the road. It's always right here, right now. Forget that. Think about what the playoffs are going to look like. The teams that we see that are already in, the teams that are trying to get in, we could have some great matchups.
And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. That one, a 1st down pickup of 8. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. On the ground, McCaffrey looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Trey Hendrickson, the one who gets him on the ground. On 2nd down, McCaffrey Give him 4 on the ground there. They're now left with 3rd and 6.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
And he finds a man. It's Olsen. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's made at the Saints' 44-yard line.
Yeah, Greg, Olsen's back for his 13th NFL season. The last 9 have been in a Panthers uniform. Only 9 games for him a year ago, 7 the season before due to injuries. But when healthy, a 1,000-yard receiver in 2014, 15, and 16.
And he'll get it down here to the 43. All that, and it only nets him a yard. It's 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 9 at the 43-yard line.
And he's going to find Hogan here, complete. And he'll get nothing out of that one. That one good for the completion percentage, but no gain. It'll be 3rd down. The Panthers on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. He's going to air it out deep for Hogan. And it falls incomplete after almost being intercepted. A pick there would have been great. The good news for the defense now, it's 4th down.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing.
Interestingly, that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. So distance not the issue there. He had plenty of leg to get it there. It's that darn upright getting in the way.
Always gets in the way of a good time, doesn't it? Because he hit it square, too. Sometimes you can bank one in if you get it on the end of the football. No such luck there for him.
Stop made there by Gerald McCoy. 2 minutes to play, first half. It's 14-0. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. The throw over the middle taken in. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. He'll get 15 and a Saints first down. On 1st and 10, here's Breeze. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. 2nd and 10 from the 33-yard line. Here's Breeze to throw. And this is Cook with a grab. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25.
Ready?
Breeze on the draw, gives to Kamara. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down. From the 16, Breeze. Cook stripped, the ball's out, and it's picked up by the Panthers. A big seam, and he might go all the way. He's at the 40. 20, 10, and he takes it into the end zone. It's a fumble recovery and a touchdown for the Panthers. Oh, backbreaker. That'll drive the coach, the offensive coordinator, just crazy. You get it all the way down there in the red zone, can't capitalize. Instead, they go the other way on the fumble return for a touchdown.
How about the aggressiveness of the defense, though? They're not about to just fall on a fumble, are they? Scoop and score is their motto, and they just did it.
This will be taken in at the 1. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Go!
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. You're under a minute to go here in the half. Field position not really in your favor, but still time to try and move the ball and get in field goal range.
Yeah, you got the lead. It's definitely a thought. Let's go ahead and try and increase it. But at the same time, I don't like the odds. I like where they are on the field. Got the lead. They've done well in the first half. Don't mess it up and go into halftime looking at each other wondering what if.
And he'll just keep 2 hands on the football as he'll be taken down after a short pickup. So we've come upon halftime here in Week 17 as we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thank you as always. Welcome into our final regular season edition of our Halftime Report. Playoff lives hanging in the balance as we take you around the NFL one final time. We'll start over in Tampa. An NFC South matchup between Atlanta and Tampa Bay. And that one getting close to halftime with the Falcons out in front. 2 touchdown passes there for the former MVP, Matt Ryan. From there, let's head up to Cincinnati to check in on the Bengals at home at Paul Brown Stadium. And they've got the lead in their ball game over the visiting Cleveland Browns. Andy Dalton with 2 touchdown passes there. Lastly, let's get up to Buffalo to check on the Bills. And they have the lead over the visiting New York Jets. John Brown, a touchdown reception. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach, appreciate it. A 1-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. They complete it to Hill. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Panthers' 45-yard line. So from Panther territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. A first down run not going to get them a whole lot, maybe a yard. And it looks like just 1 yard there, so that'll bring up 2nd and 9. They run it again with Kamara. And he's going to get this pretty close to a first down, stopped at the Panthers' 35. They'll run here. It's Murray. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Washington now out of the gun. He'll get the first down and more inside the 20. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Dwayne Washington, his first touchdown on the year. And the Saints able to stretch that lead out further. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit. Get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast. Game, the second half, no matter what. Well, those first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever. This was a big score to start the second half.
13 games going on here in this final Sunday of 2019, the final Sunday of the regular season. 3 more games still to come following us. Raiders, Broncos, Cards, Rams, and Niners, Seahawks. And then we'll know the 12 teams who will continue on into the playoffs starting next Saturday here on EA Sports. Well, they had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. Now a nice throw here right side. He hauls it in. And they work this well upfield across the 45. Last play they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards. Allen now on first down. Looking for the tight end, Olsen, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Demario Davis. And the return stops just a few yards shy of midfield. They'll spot the ball at the 47-yard line. CD, with that incompletion, let's talk AFC playoff picture. I think you and I agree that if you put together any sort of power rankings, we'd put Baltimore #1, certainly in the AFC. But you look ahead to the playoffs getting started on January 4th. Who do you see as their main competitor for that Lamar Hunt trophy?
Well, tradition and us not wanting to be wrong dictates that we say New England next. and rightly so because of the number of Lombardi trophies they've won, how they've always played at this time of year. But the bottom line to me is the prime contenders right now for Baltimore, Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes has got it together and the defense is playing better. And Buffalo really showed me something when they beat Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh on a Sunday night in Week 15. Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game. And while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
The Saints on 4th down last year, 13 of 16, second best in the league, and they'll try it here. Running on 4th, it's Zach Line. And he gets it to the 34, good enough for the first. And the drive stays in motion with a nice 8-yard pickup on 4th. And this will probably be the last play of the quarter. Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the third quarter of action. And we're back now in Charlotte. It's the Saints. They'll be looking to expand their lead here. They've got the football as we start the 4th. Again, it's Kamara. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. He'll get 15 and a Saints first down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
They stopped after only a yard, taking it down to the 14. If nothing else, they've already taken a couple minutes off the clock here already as they come up second down. Now Breeze. That's caught. It's Thomas. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. Breeze on the hook up to Thomas for the New Orleans first. 2 of their 3 red zone trips so far they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on second and goal. And he's got him. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Ted Ginn, his first touchdown on the year. And the Saints able to stretch that lead out further. Lutz with the extra point. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. Now this one complete on the slant route. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 11 yards and a Panther first down. Throwing on first down is Allen. And with a flag down, he goes down. So they're able to sack him. Now the penalty looks like it could be holding. Let's find out. Kind of surprised they accept the penalty.
The only thing that comes to mind for me is they want to move them back 5 yards because they feel good about their defense. But in most situations, you take the down. That's what counts more.
And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. You're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And down he goes at the 45 after a pickup of 9. The Panthers on third down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 7. Here's Allen. And he will find his man. That's Hogan, complete. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40. This quarterback now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Here's Allen to throw it. And he's got the hook up to Moore. A gain of 6 there on first. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Panther football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Throwing again on second down. Allen, he'll get this to McCaffrey out of the backfield. And he gets it down a yard or two shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds. This will be play number 7 on the drive. 3rd and a yard. Again, they'll throw with Allen. And he finds a man. It's McCaffrey. And he'll be brought down with the first down and a late flag here, too. And he may get a few more tacked on for good measure. Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that would look pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked up by Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, the rookie from Florida. And he will take this all the way up past the 40-yard line. All smiles and high fives on that defensive sideline. That interception will cap off what was truly a tremendous performance.
Yeah, if you can hold a team to 7 points in the NFL, that's the kind of day that you feel really good about. Now, I do know a few guys are going to think to themselves, held them to 7. If we'd made one more play, could have had our shutout.
10 yards, good for his Saints, first down. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. On the ground, Kamara. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. The previous run, good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard. A man who's been busy this afternoon. It's Kamara again. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
Ready. 95-56, 95-56.
So this one, a victory here for New Orleans. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So for the Saints, a final win here means they'll finish off the regular season at a solid 13-3. And now they'll await the final seeding for the playoffs ahead. Meanwhile, for Carolina, they'll limp to the finish line with a final record of 5-11. And this is a team that has a few good pieces in place, but could stand to get deeper and younger all around.